Phoenix Suns and New Orleans Pelicans, and this one should be a win in theory. However, there are a lot of obstacles, mainly the Suns themselves, in the way of a shoe-in.
All right, awesome. Cool. This is fun. This is so dope. You know what? Maybe we should just cut straight to a clip of Monty talking about today's game.
Here's Monty.
It just happened last night. He was able to finish the game, so we thought he was fine, or we wouldn't have had him out there. But I guess when the adrenaline wore off, he felt sore, and I talked to him last night. Like, I'll see how I feel tomorrow. Then we pretty much just iced him. He was trying, like, you know what, to get back on the floor today, but it was something that happened last night in the game. Yeah, I mean, he's been there for us all year long. And I talked to him yesterday about what I was doing with the rotation and, you know, just trying to be straight with guys about what we're doing. And he was great. And I believe he's going to play well tonight. He's kept his mental approach pretty steady all year long, and he's worked his tail off. So to your point, it's a benefit to have someone like him as a backup.
That was Monty on, of course, the injury that Aaron Holiday had suffered last night, which wasn't exactly an injury so much as just some soreness there. And then, of course, conversations he's had recently with Elfrid Payton, who will have to step up in tonight's game, because the question of the day yesterday was, who will replace Chris Paul in the starting lineup? Well, the question of the day today is, what are we going to do without 3-point guards?
We're going to have to deal with Elf coming off the shelf.
Here we go, Elf. It's right here. It says it right here in front of you. Don't fuck it up. That's it. It's that simple. Just
protect the ball. Keep whatever lead that Devin has gotten you at that point, and don't worry about anything else. That's don't fuck it up is what you're expecting from Elfrid Payton.
Yeah. Blaze, that was not McCall that Monty was talking about. It was Aaron Holiday. As far as we know, Mikal Bridges is completely fine. Just had a little probably subtle pain there.
Just got a little banged up. No big deal.
Just a little banged up. No big deal. Hopefully it remains that way, knock on wood, touch metal, whatever your thing is.
Also, this beer tasted like disappointment and falling short of expectations.
So it's
which is kind of what I feel like Elfrid Payton's going to do tonight.
Have a little faith, you guys. Have a little
What has
faith.
Elfrid Payton ever done to make you think he's
Isn't Elfrid Payton on the top 5 list of triple doubles in Suns history?
That's because he played for the crappiest Suns team ever at the end of a season.
And maybe he can dig deep somewhere inside and pull one of those out for us tonight because the Suns need it.
Lindsey,
have a little faith.
Lindsey, I love the fact that you are team Elfrid Payton tonight. Let's go.
When
isn't Lindsey team filling whoever we're talking about?
I just like to be positive.
Get you a hype man like
glass
Lindsey.
half full type of gal.
No, you're a glass filled to the top type of gal. That's you. I don't think you have ever seen anything that you went, yeah, that's just bad.
I mean,
maybe some of my dad jokes, but other than that, nothing.
Yeah. Well, I just think that at this point in time, we saw Elfrid Payton play better after the trade deadline, right? He kind of had a little bit of heat on him, knowing that if he didn't start to perform a little bit better, his minutes could disappear and go to Aaron Holiday. This is a pressure type of moment for Elfrid Payton. I think he understands the severity of the situation. You are down now 3 point guards, and a lot of the pressure is going to land on him, and they are going to rely very heavily on him. I'm hoping that pressure creates a diamond tonight, and Elfrid Payton shows up big for this team.
Man. Elfrid, meet me at camera 1. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow, because opportunity only knocks once in a lifetime.
It only comes once in a lifetime.
Whatever. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. I could give Elfrid Payton the greatest hype speech ever. He's still going to suck when he comes in off the bench.
All right.
Jesus.
Well, you know who doesn't suck?
Devin Booker.
Point
book.
I thought you were going to say Landry Shamet.
Devin Booker became the first Suns player in franchise history to tally 25 or more points, 12 or more assists, 6 or more steals, and 5 or more rebounds in last night's win. And he passed Steve Nash for 7th on the Suns' all-time scoring list. So congratulations. Here's some flowers for Devin Booker moving up on those record books with the Suns franchise.
He was pretty good last night.
He was pretty good last night. He was just okay. Yeah, just okay.
Like I said, he was very good. And you guys take it as, oh, he was just average?
Yeah.
He was nice.
Always in your feelings, you two.
No, it was because of how you said he was very good. You weren't like, yeah, he was very good tonight. He was solid.
He
you were
was
like,
amazing.
You were like, he was good. He was very good.
The OKC Thunder.
Whatever. You're such a hater. Anyway.
Congrats, Amber, on your wife being hot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What is going on in the chat right now?
I don't know. We've probably been hacked, all right?
Oh, man.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the full injury report for tonight because we did get into it right off the top. Aaron Holiday is sidelined for the Suns. Cam Payne remains out. And, of course, Chris Paul is out. On the Pelicans side of things, Zion Williamson out. Larry Nance Jr. out. Kyra Lewis Jr. is also out. I do have a question for you guys about Zion Williamson. It seems that it's been such a struggle for him to stay healthy thus far. Do you think that he's going to be able to turn the corner and find success in the NBA?
I don't know, man. The Zion Williamson thing, and I haven't dug too deep into it. I just know for whatever reason, he's injury prone right now, and the weight issue seems to be there, and people think one leads to the other, and it's just a vicious cycle. I don't know. I don't know. It's just that's a tough one.
He's already throwing his president of basketball operations under the bus via sources. He apparently is not a big Dave Griffin fan, and that, to me, that makes me wonder how much of this is injury, how much of this is a guy that doesn't want to play within an organization, which then opens the door to a whole other slew of questions as to whether Zion can actually thrive in this league, because he hasn't proven anything. So who is he to start making demands, especially of a executive who has won a title, has done those things? I have always said this, and I've taken heat, but Zion in his body type and different things reminds me a lot of Oliver Miller, in the fact that had a lot of skills but didn't have what it took to put it together in the NBA, and let all these other factors become problematic for him, including his weight. And I hate to judge a guy on that because I'm not one that should, but Zion, obviously that's problematic for him. And when you have all these injuries, you can't play at a weight that Zion's been at, because it exacerbates those kind of things.
One of the things that young athletes learn very, very quickly when they get to college, and most of the time pro for sure, is that the bad habits that they had growing up can sometimes catch up to you really, really quick. Mm-hmm. And I don't know
what, have to break them in this league.
And that's a wild assumption because I've never hung out with Zion on a day-to-day basis. I don't know what kind of food he eats or what kind of work ethic he has. But if he did have bad habits before he got to the league and he refused to change those, then this is probably why it's all catching up to him right now. Because he is an abnormally big physical freak of nature. Like he is. Like there's no way to get around it. And sometimes that can put so much stress on your body that if you don't take care of it at a very high level, it'll absolutely come back to haunt you.
But Barkley was the same way, and he talks about how Moses Malone, his rookie season, he looked at him as kind of his veteran mentor, and he said, "Hey, why am I not getting playing time and stuff?" And Moses looked at him, "It's because you're fat and lazy." I mean, that's what Moses said to Charles Barkley, and but it was the kind of moment that made Chuck realize, I have to commit to this, right? I have to go out there and take this seriously, and just being naturally gifted isn't enough. I have to put in the work. And I don't know that Zion's had that kind of veteran leadership in New Orleans where somebody could say that to him and he'd genuinely listen,
Yeah, and that's the other part of this is Zion, like, again, the whole high school and college mentality when you get to the pros, and even in college, you start to learn that like this is a business.
Yeah.
And they don't pay you just to play basketball. There's so much more around just the on-court performance. And clearly there's a disconnect between Zion, his franchise, and the output that they're getting from him, because it's all effed up right now. So I hope for his sake he gets right, because I know the league would be better off for it. But right now it's a nasty situation.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say thank you to Josh in the chat for defending why I'm fat. So I appreciate that.
I think it's interesting because there's so much that had come out recently, like you were talking about organizationally. JJ Redick kind of ripped him a new one on ESPN because he hadn't reached out to CJ McCollum when he was traded to the Pelicans. I think that's the part of things that really frustrates me the most, because as a younger player in the league who hasn't had the ability, for whatever reason, injury or other, to really establish themselves, I don't think that you're at a point where you can start like causing drama or ruffling feathers. That seems like a disservice to yourself and your brand, in addition to the NBA as a whole.
It's our business. It's every business, right? Our business is the same way. There's people that are immensely talented, but if you don't commit to it, you don't put in the effort, you don't be a team player, it does not work. Mm-hmm. And if what JJ Redick's saying is true, when he's not even making the effort that it takes to ask somebody for CJ McCollum's phone number and text or call him and say, hey, welcome to New Orleans, I'm looking forward to playing with you, that's problematic. That's just a guy that doesn't seem to be bought into the program at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Speaking of CJ McCollum, how do you guys like that move for the Pelicans? And for CJ?
Anytime you can add a CJ McCollum to your squad, you're going to be much better for it. They need some more firepower, especially if Zion's not coming back anytime soon. I don't really know what Portland's doing. Clearly they're cleaning house.
It sounds like Portland has just committed to the tank.
I would not be. Point. I know everybody wants to talk about, we're going to build around Dame. We're going to build around Dame. I wouldn't be shocked if in the offseason they ended up trading Dame and just completely starting from scratch.
You know what? I feel so bad. This nothing to do with tonight's game, but I'm going to go off on a little tangent. Oh. I feel so bad for Damian Lillard. It is so unfair that he has committed. Like, Damian is what I hope to God Devin doesn't end up like.
Well, he's already past that.
Because he's won here.
Yeah, he's already passed. He's gotten to the finals.
This is fair, but I mean, he needs a championship.
But it was the fear.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, if last year didn't happen, I think we feel about Devin the same way Portland fans feel about Dame. Is right. I hope we don't screw this up.
And I think that Portland has screwed it up to the point where every single offseason, it's always a conversation. Is Dame going to ask out? Is he want to trade? And he said time and time again, he doesn't want that. He's not leaving. I think Dame should leave. Well, I think Dame should leave and go win himself a championship. And every single fan in Portland should support him on that journey.
As long as it's not with the Lakers.
That's fair.
Anywhere else, fine. Look, that Portland right now is that meme of the dumpster fire, right? Like that's them. Their president was fired. Their GM, like they're just a mess. So I get it, but looking at CJ McCollum, which is where this originally started, I'm happy for CJ, right? He doesn't have to play in the shadow of Dame. He can go out there. He can be his own man. He can put up those numbers. He's a guy I've liked since that draft. He was in here for draft workouts. Good kid, good player. I like to see what he's able to do. I hope obviously tonight isn't his big coming out party. I know he had 38 the other night, but hopefully tonight isn't the night where he lights up a team. But overall, really like the guy, and he's married to an Esposito, which is always a win too.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is. I don't think she's related to me, but yeah, he's married to an Esposito.
Why is she super hot?
Well, that's rude. Have you ever seen any of the women
rude?
in my family? Jeez.
You, man.
Well,
not the women in your family. I meant you.
Yeah, but I hope no woman.
Because you're the one that gave your wife the name.
Look, I hope no woman looks like me, because that would just be bad in general.
That would be terrible.
I mean, that just would not be good for anybody. My daughter looks like my wife.
To be fair, if there was a woman out there that looks like me, I am sorry.
Oh my gosh!
Don't you have a daughter?
Well,
She didn't look like me.
Well, that's
Thank
good.
goodness for
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
bless
All
her
right.
heart.
My daughter is beautiful.
The Phoenix Suns currently hold a league best 49-10 record on the season, right? They're 19-1 over their last 20 games. It's the team's best start through 59 games of a season in franchise history. Are they going to make it 50 tonight? What are our picks? Let's take a look at our picks first, and then we'll tell you what Vegas thinks. I say yes.
That's not my pick.
That's not your pick.
No, it's not.
No.
No, he had
I
Pelicans
went Pelicans by one.
That's
Jesus Christ, Ben. Fuck. Man,
Be
one
nice.
job.
He's an intern. He's
Oh
learning.
my God.
You're supposed to be
You
holding
had
his
one
hand.
job,
Screwed up
Ben.
last night
You're
too.
supposed to be holding his hand.
Taking
First
L's.
the mics, then the graphic. Who do you think you are, Leah? Jeez.
Oh.
So, Espo is the only one who does not have the Suns winning tonight.
I think
what do you think it is?
I think I'm the first person in over 3 months to not pick the Suns.
I think
in
so
this
too.
graphic.
I picked the opposite team once.
Okay, once. All right.
I did pick the opposite
Look,
team
I
once.
just feel like this is the kind of trap night, second night of a back-to-back. You're on your, fourth string point guard as your backup tonight. New Orleans hasn't played. CJ had a hot game last time. I feel like if we're gonna hit a speed bump, and they're 19-1 in their last 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Losing one isn't gonna be shocking, right? I feel like this might be the night.
I have Suns by 10,
Suns by 10.
but
okay.
then I forgot CJ McCollum played for the Pelicans, and now I'm like, oh.
Okay, now that you know CJ's on the Pelicans, you were
I-
reminded.
I'm gonna
are you
say
change it?
I feel like it's gonna be Suns by 1.
Okay.
By the way, Cove Crazies, can somebody tell me who was accidentally on their wife's account earlier
Yeah.
and
It
commenting?
was the Saric guy.
Was it?
earlier.
Okay.
At least that's what he said.
I missed it. I was a little confused as to what was going on there.
Yeah.
That
out
was
there.
hilarious. I love that.
Sarich-astic remarks.
Mhm. So I have Suns by 3. Gerald has Suns by 5. I do think that they're going to have some hiccups in tonight's game, especially that second unit, because Cam Johnson is starting for the Suns again tonight. So I think that second unit is going to be a little bit rough, right? We saw last night's game. Every time Devin left the court, it kind of allowed for OKC to kind of find some rhythm and get back into this. So I do think it's going to be rough. However, I still think the Suns are able to edge this one.
This is the problem with not having a nice little rounded bench, is that you have guys like JaVale McGee that start thinking that they need to do more than what they're capable of. He
Fair.
showed that last night, and it did not work. And so you just want guys to play their role. So if they come out and they just play Suns basketball, play their role as they know it, they'll be okay, and those runs won't be as severe. But if they start trying to do too much and trying to be more than what they actually are, that's when those big runs by the other team really come fast, and they come fast. Like last night, I think the Suns were up by like 15, and all of a sudden in like a minute and a half, OKC went on like a 9-0 run. You're like,
Yeah.
dude, you can't have that happen.
It was like
And that's mostly
96
because
seconds. They had,
JaVale
like-
was out there acting like damn Magic Johnson.
That was
Look,
funny, though.
more like Tragic Johnson. But look, when you look at this, New Orleans has CJ McCollum, which matches up with Devin, right?
Mhm.
They've got Ingram, who can match up with McHale or Cam, whatever you're looking at. You've got Valanciunas at center, which if DA isn't on his game tonight, Valanciunas can match up with him. I just feel like that's why it's a trap, because I don't see the bench being able to be any kind of savior in this game. You're not going to have a 5 for 5 with 12 points like Aaron Holiday had last night off that bench, unless Landry Shamet hit his head and forgot who he is. So,
Well, there's one other guy that can help all of this, and we talked about it a little bit last night. Are we going to get to that? Are we going to get to DA?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
brought it up. Go ahead.
Okay. Well,
I love he's got to turn to you to ask if it's okay.
well, because I didn't know she had it in the rundown. So, just double checking my sources.
We're draining Saul to listen to the rundown, everybody. Clap for Saul.
You can't break a wild horse, all right?
Yeah, you can try. DA, you're like fucking 5 minutes late on that shit. Listen.
He said I'm new, Saul. Give him a
Jesus
break.
Christ. No, Shane had to push the button, okay? Listen, all right.
Shane had to point at the button.
When you have DA on this team, he can't have another crappy performance like he had last night.
Yes.
Listen, the Suns will lose this game if DA doesn't play well. That point blank. And every single time he steps on that floor with Elfrid Payton as the backup on the bench and he doesn't show up to play, this team will lose. Like Devin Booker could drop 40 tonight and the Suns will still lose if DA plays like he did last night. Because you have nobody else on the bench is really going to help you too much. There's no playmakers out there.
No, you're looking at something that could feel very much like old school Book, where he has to do everything. If you basically need Cam, McHale, DA, Book all to play at their highest level tonight because you have no safety net anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
One thing that I did find really interesting that Monty brought up pregame was that he said the last time the Suns played the Pelicans, they blitzed them almost the whole game. And last night in OKC, they didn't really do that at all. But that it's going to be really good for this team to see different environments here down the stretch, especially without Chris Paul, and grow even more before the playoffs. Do you think that's going to be a bigger factor tonight for this team?
I mean, yeah, if they blitz him the whole game, yeah, it's going to wear him out. Elfrid Payton can't handle the press. I'm sorry.
Well, look, you can't forget that Willie Green's on the other sideline, right?
And he knows it all.
He does.
He helped build it.
He knows the call's coming from inside. He understands how this whole thing works. So if there's a guy that can catch this team on the second half of a back-to-back and put together a game plan that, even though he has less talent on his roster, could trip the Suns team up, it's a guy that understands them as well as he does.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. It'll be an interesting game. If you guys are placing bets out there, let's break down what Vegas thinks about tonight. And so that might help you determine what bets to make. Espo, tell us about it.
Vegas thinks I'm a total moron. They say the Suns are a 6.5 point favorite tonight.
I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about this game and how it's going to play out. And I feel worse and worse and worse about it, to be honest with you.
Really?
I do. I don't know if I just have Elfrid Payton on the brain or what, but man,
I
I
don't like this
I'm
Saul.
devastated about what's about to happen right now.
It's certainly not that I made a convincing argument. We know that, so it must be Elfrid Payton.
Who the hell's going to score?
Well, Devin Booker
in the second unit.
Maybe some Torrey Craig, a little bit.
Torrey Craig and JaVale McGee going off tonight.
Man.
I'm trying, okay? I'm doing my best, Saul.
I know.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to... You're acting like it's going to just be a complete meltdown of a game for this team. And I don't think it's going to be that.
I don't know.
I really don't think it's going to be as dramatic as you are envisioning in your head right now.
Okay.
Remember,
what was in that beer?
You always say, when you have Chris Paul and Devin Booker on your team, you're going to be fine.
We don't have CP3.
Listen, hear
it's
me
just
out.
Still on the team.
You still have Devin
EP2.
Booker on your team.
And that shit is trash.
You still have Devin Booker on your team. Things are going to be all right.
God.
He is a great player. He has grown tremendously over the years. He has learned a lot, and he can help and he can will this team to a win. I believe it.
Look, if Saul
that was
were
my preaching for the moment.
if Saul were a human being that would accept such thing, I'd give him a hug right now because this is sad.
You're making the chat sad, Saul. Come on.
Phoenix Riser, we will lose by 15 plus.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
Patrick, I feel worried about this game even more now without Saul's optimism.
John says Elf doesn't suck. Okay. Well, you know what? If Elfrid Payton, what's a good bet? What should I do?
Make a bet.
If Elfrid Payton,
No.
yes, I will. Yes.
God.
Yes.
If Elfrid Payton drops at least 20 points tonight, I will dye my hair.
I have never
What
rooted for
color?
Elfrid Payton so damn hard.
This motherfucker's
Hold
gonna drop
on.
15 in the first
You
quarter.
said you
and
will
I'm gonna be
dye
so
your
mad.
hair, but I need a specific color so there is no like skirting around this one that you're going to dye your hair brown or some BS like that. Shane's working. Hold on. Shane's coming.
Wait,
Shane's
Albert
coming.
Einstein wants to talk. Hold on.
Yeah, if he drops 20 points, you're bleaching your hair with me.
Yes.
That color?
You're
Yes.
doing this.
I can't go like a different kind of color?
You can't go any other
I'll
color
let you
unless
pick-
you bleach your
I
hair
will let
first.
you pick the color then. How about that?
Yes, but it has to be bleached first because the color won't show up.
Well, I'll bleach it and then we'll color it.
If
You
Elfrid,
can't take like dark brown black hair and turn it yellow without bleaching it first.
Sure, whatever we
gotta
gotta
bleach
do.
it first.
if
Okay,
Elfrid
perfect.
drops 30, I will shave down to what amounts to Shane's mustache.
Okay.
For next show.
Okay, so just so everyone is in the loop, if Elfrid Payton has 20 points, you are going to dye your hair. If
I will
Elfrid
fucking
Payton
hate Elfrid
has
Payton
30 points, you are going to
forever.
shave into a mustache-like shape. But you need to grow it out a little
Look,
bit.
we'll have to talk to the missus because she'll have to drop my daughter off at
see this
school every day.
bullshit?
No.
See, he always
No,
uses
hold
his
on.
family as an
Hold on.
excuse.
There's a good reason. Because I won't be allowed to drop my daughter off because I will look straight pedophile. All right, with just that stash. So we will have to get some approval.
This will be all blonde if they lose. Or if Elfrid
If
Payton
they
drops
lose.
20 points.
If they lose.
Not if they
My
lose.
goodness.
No,
My
not if they
goodness.
lose.
All right. That's going to do it for our show, except for we have one final thing that Espo
But if he
is
has less
keeping
than
a
4
secret
points,
from
you
me.
got it.
No, make it that bad. I have a lot
That's-
more hair than you. It takes a lot longer to grow back out. Espo, what is this little
Okay.
treat that you have planned for us?
So I was digging through the YouTube comments after last night's post game, and this one showed up from our friend Metal Mike. He says, "I swear my kid loves to get up during the funniest parts of the show. The last part of the show with Gerald was hilarious. When I first thought of Gerald the Girth, because Mike is the first one to have said that, he said, I pictured a Conan the Barbarian He-Man type figure with Gerald holding a sword in the air with a tiger at one side and women clenching his body in the other.
Oh my
Now that would make a
gosh.
shirt. Hashtag embrace the girth."
Conan
And-
the Barbarian. I'm gonna need to
Did you
Google
make that?
this.
I haven't. No, that'll.
Oh, man.
You should have made it. That would have made it
Post-game
better.
for Gerald.
Oh, okay. Shh.
Everybody,
Oh,
we'll
that's
drop that
funny.
on. We'll drop that on Gerald at post game just for.
I just googled it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen this.
Lindsay's
before.
been
This is
distracted
hilarious.
slightly now.
Sunderstunks he girth.
Eager. By
Oh
the power of
my
Grayskull.
Josh, if you want to make the He-Man Conan the
No,
Barbarian,
Josh is already making
Yeah.
Johnny Venerable, aka Megamind.
I'm sure he's got that one done. So Josh, if you want to do it, we'll take a shot at it too. We'll have the chat vote who does the better he girth.
And Josh, I just want to be clear. I saw that you had posted the whole,
Flat girther.
flat girthers, and then also the picture in front of the fireplace. Our intern Emma had already done that as well, so I didn't want you to feel like we stole your idea or anything like that. We had already done that. We just hadn't had a chance to unleash the power of the girth yet.
But we do appreciate all of your hard work, and
Yes.
it makes it very enjoyable to be on social media and poke fun over there. So thank you for always doing that. It's super fun.
the Wolverine staring at the picture of Gerald on the Discord
Oh, it's
last night
beautiful.
was next level.
If you're not
So-
in the Discord, you're missing out because
Oh
there's a
my
lot of
God.
great stuff that goes down in the Discord.
Yeah, so become a Go PHNX member right now. Just head on over to gophnx.com. Check out all the good stuff. There's a couple different options for you to sign up. One of them gets you 50 cents for your first month. The other one gets you a free t-shirt from our locker. Or if you just want to pick up some sweet swag, you can head on over to our locker as well and just get some really cool merch. That's going to do it for us because the game's about to tip off. Thank you for tuning in to the pregame show. Of course, be sure to join us right back here, same place, after the game wraps up. Until then, as Saul
Here with
mentioned,
the
you can hang out with us
smooth
in the
shooter, EJ
Discord,
Eddie
or
Johnson.
you can hang out with us on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. Bye.
Ahoy, hoy.